Hi, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Anthony. This is our recording for the Thought Record presentation. So I'm going to play the role of the interviewer, and she's going to be the interviewee.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get started. Okay, so why don't you tell me what's bringing you in today?
So I was recently invited to, I guess you'd call it a Friendsgiving, which is like this big dinner that my friends in Philly host every year, where a bunch of us, get together and like just have a really awesome dinner. And, a lot of these people I haven't seen in like over a year. And, as I told you before, a lot's been happening with me since I last saw these people. I've been struggling with depression, and on top of that, my ex-boyfriend of 7 years is going to be there with his new girlfriend, who just seems to just have it really well put together. She's got her master's in psych, she's an adjunct professor, and she's getting her PhD at UPenn for positive psychology. So I just I hate to compare myself, but because I've been just struggling with depression, it's really easy for me to compare myself.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure this is a situation that can produce different types of emotions for you.
Oh yeah.
And so actually what I would like to do with you is kind of dive into this situation and kind of break it down in terms of to see the different moods and thoughts that you have associated with this. And one way that we can do this is by using a thought record worksheet where you provide a situation, the moods attached to it, and then the automatic thoughts that you have that come with the moods and the situation. And then the purpose of it is basically to kind of help you create new thoughts that would help you better in a sense, deal with the situation.
Okay.
Okay, so you said the situation was that you were invited to a Friendsgiving dinner, and your ex-boyfriend of 7 years, is going to be there with his new girlfriend, who you think that she's really well put together.
Yeah, she's just.
Okay, and so what kind of moods do you have associated to the situation?
Well, first, it's a lot of anxiety. Thinking about it, I feel it in my gut, like butterflies, but not in a good way. And then the anxiety kind of shifts into just an overall depression.
Okay. Okay. So when you start having these moods, what kind of automatic thoughts come to your head?
Well, some of the thoughts are, I still don't have my shit together. I don't want to have to tell everyone how depressed I've been. And I don't want to have to explain to everyone that I'm still dog walking, and then I think, and then I'm such a loser, and then I think, I have no skills. Kind of just domino effects.
Okay. And do you notice how each of these automatic thoughts are kind of tied to a different emotion or mood?
Yeah, I can definitely tell, the ones where I'm thinking of, I'm such a loser and I have no skills, those are the ones that just get me, in a really low mood. I don't have my shit together, that gets me just really low. Telling everyone that I'm, still dog walking makes me anxious, and also potentially having to tell people that, just the question, so how have you been? How are you? That question makes me really anxious because I don't want to have to tell everyone, how depressed I've been, and I don't want to be a downer at the party. And
Right. Okay. And so when people ask you how are you, what kind of thought do you associate with that you just listed?
Well, at first, I don't how I'm going to respond.
Yeah.
Well, if I tell them the truth, that's the thing. I don't know. Do you want the real answer, or should I just brush over and maybe talk about maybe something else and not really tell you how depressed I've been?
Okay. And so out of, I guess, out of all these automatic thoughts, which one would you consider to be a hot thought, one that has the most emotional charge and kind of, I guess, like emotional charge in terms of the situation that you are going to be put into?
Definitely the I still don't have my shit together one.
Okay. And is this something that you kind of think about too when like someone asks you like, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like the thought in the back of my mind.
Right.
Like, I still don't have my shit together. What am I going to say?
Okay, so when you have this hot thought, what makes it particularly hot?
I guess just the fact that not only is it, I feel like an automatic thought that is triggered by a lot of different situations for me. I feel like this thought comes up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And also B, that it kind of, I feel like that one, I still don't have my shit together one, kind of leads into, I have no skills, then I'm such a loser, and then, you know what I mean, it just kind of, it's like the foundation, I think, for more of the depressive thoughts that I have.
And so when you have this hot thought, what would you rate the intensity of it from a scale of 0 to 100, where 100 is the most intense?
Definitely like a 90.
Okay, so it's pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you have this hot thought, what kind of evidence do you have that supports this thought that, you still don't have your shit together?
Well, that I don't have a job in the field right now. I've been wanting to exercise and eat healthier. Still haven't been able to do that, and just keeping up with my school assignments has been really difficult for me.
Okay. And so it seemed like that was kind of like like easy to you to come up with that.
Oh yeah.
Answer,
Oh,
so.
I know right away for that.
So can you think of any evidence that doesn't support this hot thought?
Yeah, see, that's harder.
Yeah.
That's much, much harder. I have to dig a lot deeper for that.
Okay. So let's start with one for now.
All right. Well, I guess I am almost done completing my graduate degree. And this is, my last semester. So I feel like I had to have had it together at some point or on some level to be able to get through this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I guess that's one.
Okay. What about like a couple more?
Okay. How many? Not too many.
Just like two more.
Two more?
Yeah.
Okay. You can do that. Well, in the past, I have successfully juggled school, internship, and 2 part-time jobs, and I was also going through like a really intense kind of like family trauma at the time, and I was a big support for everyone.
Okay.
So, and I did that,
Yeah.
and still was able to get A's, I don't know how, and got great reviews from my supervisors, So,
Yeah, so that seems like those are some pretty good examples of you, in a sense, having your shit together.
Yeah, see, I don't know why I don't think about this.
Okay.
So that doesn't come naturally.
And do you have one more?
Well, I guess, I thought I could do 2. I got good work reviews, and, and also juggled a bunch of different stuff at once,
All right, so now one of the biggest things with, the CBT model is kind of restructuring the way that you think about situations. And so what we can do is, instead of having this hot thought, that kind of just creates all these negative emotions that you feel, we can replace them with alternative or balanced thoughts that might help you feel more at ease when it comes to being in these certain situations. So what I'd like to do is we can come up with, let's say, 3 different alternative or balanced thoughts that would replace the hot thought that you have.
So instead of, I still don't have my shit together, something else I can say to myself.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess, I don't need to be proficient in all the areas of my life at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess I kind of have this, I don't know if it's the way I grew up, but I, you know, need to want to be perfect and want to
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, maybe I'm being a little too hard on myself. So
Okay.
that could be one.
Mm-hmm.
Another one could be, I guess, just acknowledging, you know, graduate school is hard,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I need to be nicer to myself.
Right.
And a third one could be that, you know, I am progressing, but it just takes time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, those are pretty good ones. And so now, out of those three like new thoughts that you've had that are going to replace this, you know, the hot thoughts in the moment, which one do you think is the hardest for you to believe to be true?
Definitely that I don't need to be proficient in all areas of my life at once.
And why do you,
Yeah.
you pick that one?
Well, just because I think because of my parents, you know, being foreign, and you know, a lot of, you know, themes of self-sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, so I have to like kind of, I'm like the first one to go to college, so I just feel all this pressure on me, and it's, you know, I feel like it's a family like value to kind
Mm-hmm.
of just, you know, be efficient,
Right.
you know, and
Okay.
sustainable, and
Right.
you know, and independent.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm older and I'm still very dependent, I guess that's kind of the hardest one
Right. Okay.
for me to believe.
And
But,
so, out of the other two, which one do you think would be the easiest to use or to remember?
I think the one where I am progressing,
Mm-hmm.
but it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I'm failing to see the little steps that I do,
Right. Okay.
that I'm going like towards my goals. You know, I kind of just look at the whole picture, and then I don't see myself there, and then I forget to notice all the little things that
Right,
I'm
yeah,
doing to
yeah.
get me there.
Yeah, because, you know, like you said, it's a process.
Right.
It's a gradual process that you may not necessarily notice in the moment. But, you know, if you step back and think about it, you know, you'll realize that you've made a lot of progress as you've been going on and
Yeah.
to achieve your main goal.
Right.
Okay, so that's good. And so, how would you rate each new reconstructive thought, again, from a scale of 0 to 100, on its expected impact to change your anxiety or worry?
Well, I guess I'll go maybe from maybe the least to the most impact. I think the least, the one that might not help me as much is maybe that I don't need to be proficient in all areas of my life at once.
Okay.
But I mean, I would honestly like trying to take that thought in.
Mhm.
I mean, I would definitely rate it at like a 70.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's still, I think it's still kind of a perspective that I think would help.
Okay. And what about the next one?
The next one would probably be just acknowledging that, you know, graduate school is hard and it's a challenge,
Right.
you know, and I need to be a little more nicer and compassionate with myself. I'd rate that at about maybe like 80.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the final one?
I think the one that's going to help me the most is I am progressing, but it just takes time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I would rate that one at a 90 because I like the minute I think of this, like I already can feel myself developing a little more compassion for myself.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So now I want to take you back to the initial situation that you were in.
Don't do this to me.
So what we're gonna do instead is, you know, I want you to picture yourself in the situation, you know,
Okay.
with the emotions that you have tied to it,
Right.
and instead of thinking about the hot thoughts or the other automatic thoughts, try to replace them with the new alternative and balanced thoughts that we created.
Okay.
And now, you know, and as you picture yourself in this situation, how would you rate the intensity of the situational feelings after thinking the more balanced, reformulated thoughts that you created?
It's actually maybe not as bad as
Mhm.
what I've been making it out to be.
So how would you rate the situation at first?
At first, like it was making me really anxious and depressed.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I want to say like I think 90 is a good number.
Right.
I don't want to say 100, but Like it's yeah.
Yeah, it was like a
high
pretty
there.
pretty high
Mhm.
intensity.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now using the new alternative and balanced thoughts, how would you rate the situation?
I want to say like maybe like 60.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
It's still there. The anxiousness is still there, but like I feel maybe it's a little something more I can like I can handle it.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like I'm starting to think, of things that I can be proud of.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't just been struggling through depression. I have been progressing,
Yeah.
and I have been, working towards things slowly. And I guess I should be proud of myself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like you've been accomplishing a lot, throughout your depression.
Yeah, I guess I have.
That's good. All right. So that's it for the role play.
Okay.
So I guess let's see. How did you feel doing this role play?
Well, since this was based off of a real experience, one that I will be going through next weekend, this was really helpful. I do actually really feel less anxious about making my way down to Philadelphia next weekend. I'm a little more excited now, not like as depressed about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really, honestly, I didn't really know what I was going to get from doing this exercise. But I'm really, surprised in how it actually did make me feel more confident, I guess,
That's
is
good, yeah.
the main thing. I do feel a lot more confident going down there now.
Cool. Yeah. And were there any parts that you found more beneficial?
I think the creating the alternative thought was really helpful, because I think all the ones I came up with essentially are there. I think there's a theme here. I think it's just me being more compassionate with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to give compassion to others, but not so much to myself.
Right.
So I feel like that's been the biggest benefit I got from this exercise.
Cool.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I guess playing the interviewer role might not be as difficult as being the interview, just especially when you're using a real life situation. But it
Right.
was definitely it was nice to kind of help facilitate the conversation and help you kind of go through each step
Yeah.
at a time and just kind of see how you actually felt much different about the situation after you were able to create new balanced thoughts that would be less anxiety provoking.
Yeah.
And kind of help you alleviate yourself of these negative emotions that you may be feeling in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I felt like this is an activity that will be helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Something that I would even consider using too whenever I kind of feel this way. Because
Right.
I as well have I'll have a situation that creates negative moods and produce automatic thoughts that I could probably rework.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall I thought it was a pretty good activity.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's it.
All right.